Hey there, Humbl fam. The My Hero Convention in Florida is coming up fast, August 25th through the 27th. This event is for all ages and fandoms, with lots of exciting celebrities to meet, panels and events to attend, and tournaments and contests to win. I mean, it's hard to list them all in this short amount of time, but let's get it. You can meet Justin Briner, Lucy Christian, Monica Rial, Justin Cook, David Matranga, Emily Neves, Christopher Waycamp, Brittany Karbowski, Trina Nishimura, Leah Clark, Jamie Markey, Strange Cat Cosplay, Remy Domino, and Beku Koss, and who knows, maybe the Humbl team has a few last-minute surprise guests up their sleeves. And the cosplay, are you kidding me? I hear Florida brings it. Like every time. You guys gotta come out and see the cosplay contest, the video game and card game tournaments, the rave Saturday night. I haven't even mentioned the incredible artists in Artist Alley or the freaking sick merch you can get from the vendors. And it's all happening right across the street from a beautiful beach at the Destin Fort Walton Convention Center. Get your tickets now at www.myheroconvention.com or just check out the link in our bio. See you guys there. Until then, stay humble.
What's good, Humbl fam? Why don't you come on in for another little visit here on the Humbl Show? I am Grant Fletcher, joined as always by my co-hosts Moonbeam Hallows and Brandon Cox. How are we feeling, everyone?
We're feeling quite grand. We're feeling fantastic. We're feeling wonderful. Tell me, what is on the agenda today?
Well, it's a good day. It's a great day. Actually, we are way ahead on recording these. Like we kind of said earlier, our last episode here as well. Here's what's happening, Brandon. Here's what's happening. So I'm gonna be gone for like a week. Coming up here real soon. And I'm taking the family to Disneyland out in Anaheim. Yeah, so
I went back in 2004. That was a good time.
Yeah, I've never been. My wife went to World when she was a kid, but so by the time this one drops, I will have just gotten back a little before. So this one, like the night before this one drops, or actually I'll still be there if you're watching over on our Patreon, patreon.com/humbleshow, HUMBL3. As well, if you're in the Humbl fam, you know the drill here.
You know the internet.
Yeah, and it's come to my attention too that
what's good, Humbl fam?
Here comes Moonbeam with a cup of coffee in her hand. She's like, like you show up to work late, like with a latte, like that's what just happened.
Yeah.
What's good, Humbl fam?
It's come to my attention too, like not everybody really knows, what the Humbl fam is, and to be honest with you, if you're hearing our voice right now, be it on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app or on Patreon,
or shortwave radio,
TikTok, Instagram, wherever, then you're in the Humbl fam. It's just the way it is. We have claimed you as our family, and that's just the way it is. We
done put our taint on y'all.
We you don't get to pick your family. Well, okay, maybe you do, but we decided to pick you for you. So it's been done. It's already been decided. There's going to be a whole legal process if you want to get out. So it's just a whole thing. Don't even worry about trying to get out. You're in. You're in the Humbl fam. You and me.
Grant said, "We done got our taint on you."
That's about as southern as this show has ever been. Hey, I want to ask.
What is that from? She done got her taint on you.
I thought it was something you made up just now.
No, I feel like it was on something.
Yeah. You feel.
I'm glad that the word taint means something different in the South.
Yeah.
That way we can just keep saying it.
Yeah. We can just say it over and over again because it's not a swear because we're in the South. It's fine.
Wait, no, hold up. Okay, do you remember? You remember Nothing But Trouble? I think
absolutely.
I think it was in that with Dan Aykroyd and John Candy.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
And John Candy plays the girl and the boy, and then
yeah.
And then she falls in love with Chevy Chase's character, and he's like, "She done got her taint on you." I think that's. I may have it all wrong.
What a
That's
wild,
Right
just
out
a,
of my
a
tail.
wild, weird movie that like
Wild, weird.
feels like a fever dream when you think about it. But it happened. It really
in
did
no other
happen.
piece of media would you ever get a collaboration between Dan Aykroyd and Digital Underground,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know,
aka
yeah.
Tupac.
Tupac and yeah, the Humpty,
Yeah.
Hey,
the Humpty.
I've got a question for y'all.
Okay, I have an answer.
Y'all
And
being
all
over
around the
there
world.
in Philadelphia, Mississippi. Is there any good local lore from the area that gets passed around?
Hey,
There's a lot of really good.
look,
lore.
people can go on Wikipedia if they want very important but bad lore.
Okay.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
There's some there's some terrible things that happened in Neshoba County in the 60s. Terrible things, and we'll never live it down. It's one of those things. It sucks. We had 3 civil rights workers that were murdered here.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Mississippi Burning about Neshoba County. That's not what we want to be known for, but
Well, of course not.
unfortunately, that's some stuff that happened here, and it's horrible. But there is also a lot of spooky things
Ooh.
that happen.
yes,
in Neshoba County.
like
That's more along the lines of what I was thinking. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So one day, back in the mid 2000s, we had a what is it?
Leroy Jenks.
Don't think it was
Leroy
Leroy
Jenkins?
Oh no, because it wasn't.
No, we had a what are those like rock and roll restaurants called?
Like a Hard Rock or like a.
Yeah, we had a
Oh, we did have a hard rock cafe.
we had a Hard Rock Beach Cafe, and let me tell you something spooky. One day it just disappeared.
It sure did.
They removed all the branding. And
Oh my god!
Darn,
Yeah,
what
it
was
was like
going
they snuck in the middle of the night and was like, "Nah, son."
Yeah.
Well, you know what happened was, I think the Seminoles. I don't want to tell tales out of school because I may be way wrong, but I know the Seminoles own the Hard Rock, or they
Yeah.
did. And then the beach area was on in Choctaw, Mississippi, Philadelphia, but it was on the reservation. So I don't know if maybe that was. I don't know. It may have not just done well. It may not have done well at all. And maybe they just snuck in the middle of the night. We're like, you know what? You just can't. We can't have our name on this building or whatever.
That's
Because
like,
yeah, you're right. It just disappeared.
that's like the
it went-
opposite of what happens with Waffle House. Like you could drive past a spot on your way home from work on Friday, and it's an empty lot. And then on Monday morning, you drive into work, and there's a whole Waffle House there.
oh yeah, and they've already had a handful of assaults
in a
happen.
dog show.
Yeah. There's already been like 6 fights over the weekend in the Waffle House. Look, I think we've got some wrestlers coming to Alabama Comic-Con, and I want to ask at least one of them, because Brody King's one of them. He works for AEW. I want him to go back to Tony Khan, who runs AEW, and ask him why they have not yet booked a Waffle House Battle Royal. Do y'all know what a Battle Royal is in pro wrestling? Do y'all okay,
No.
Okay, so
please do
basically what a
tell.
Battle Royal is a bunch of wrestlers get in the ring at the same time, like a bunch of them,
Yeah.
and then they ring the bell, and then they try to throw each other out of the ring over the top rope, and then the last one
standing.
Yeah, last one standing wins the Battle Royal. I think you just do that in a Waffle House.
Didn't Fred Durst win one of those?
Fred
I don't know if he
Durst,
won.
I don't see it happening, but he might have been in one. I don't know if he won.
Yeah. I just
One of
imagine
them.
they introduced him very nonchalantly, like of course Fred Durst is here.
Yeah. Yeah, why wouldn't he be? You know what? I mean, should you really be shocked when Fred Durst shows up anywhere? I'm not.
I would be.
Go ahead.
You
I
go
don't
ahead.
know.
What were you saying?
I feel like
look,
I'd be.
No, you go ahead.
No, you go
I
first.
feel like I'd be very astonished if I'm trying to think of all the places I would not imagine Fred Durst to be. Actually, no. Now that I think about it, he's a very, for better or for worse, very diverse guy. He raps and he rocks.
And he
True.
acts
So-
he acts like a mofo. Did you guys watch Populations? What was it? 436?
you know, I
No.
did.
I did not.
Oh my god. It was basically the lottery. But Fred Durst was like the sheriff.
Okay.
And he was fantastic.
Really? I'm gonna have to
Oh,
look it up
yeah.
now.
It was good.
Brandon, you were saying something?
I'm sorry, Brandon.
Okay, so no, I don't know what I was saying, but now I know what I was meant to say. I would never imagine that Fred Durst would be on an episode of Touched by an Angel. That would be one episode that the whole family would need to see if he did show up.
This very special episode of Touched by an Angel. Yeah. So, excuse me. Around here in Baton Rouge, so of course, like in this area, there's all kind of every other thing is haunted, right? The McDonald's down the road is haunted. Your grandmother's attic is haunted. You know, we have the current state capitol building, and then we have the old state capitol building, which is like this castle building. Of course, there's a couple, 2-3 ghosts in there, whatever. You've seen one apparition, you've seen them all.
Yeah.
But we used to have this amusement park in town called Fun Fair Park, and there is lore around Fun Fair Park. Now, in particular, really, just to preface, there was a chimp that lived in Fun Fair Park named Candy, and people would throw cigarettes into Candy's enclosure, and she would smoke the cigarettes.
Did she just light them herself?
Well, I mean, you'd throw a lit cigarette,
What?
And of course. I mean, how else is the chimp gonna accomplish this, right? So yeah, things like that. And then there was this roller coaster there called the Wild Mouse. It was this small roller coaster, and it had a couple like sharp turns in there, and it was just in the corner, and they turned off all the lights in that corner, so it was just dark all the time over there, and just overgrown. And the lore was that it kept like flying off the track, and that several people had died, and there was a tunnel on there too. And depending upon who was telling the story, either a couple of teenage boys or like some girl, for whatever various reasons, stood up and then got decapitated by the tunnel on the ride. Now, it turns out none of that is true. There was like somewhere like around the time it was operating, there was some like church fair that, a train like hit somebody, like ran off the track and hit somebody and killed somebody, which don't go to those parking lot fairs. Just don't do them.
No,
don't get on the rides if you're going, because those things are pretty rickety. And then like there was some other wild mouse, because it was like a design that got, used and repurposed a lot, where someone had like fallen off of it and gotten hurt. So that kind of like created the whole myth. And really it just needed repairs. And they were thinking about moving Fun Fair Park, and ultimately they did. They moved it to a place called Dixie. It's called Dixie Landon now. It's right next to our big water park called Blue Bayou. But anyway, that's like one of the things about, lore things that gets passed around Baton Rouge. I'll tell you what though. And then the same people own Blue Bayou, right? So Candy the chimp just got relocated to Blue Bayou, but she wasn't
She's still alive.
No, she died a few years ago. But this was like from the 80s, right? So what happened was they kind of just put her in like a cage in the back or whatever, like. But evidently there was one or two rides at Dixie Landon where if you were on the ride, you could kind of see her off in the distance,
Smoking Reds.
But yeah. But yeah, well, they tried to like give her to like a chimp sanctuary, and she escaped, and she went back. And that is actually a news story that you can look up. Candy the chimp, Blue Bayou. And there's a picture of her like in the middle of the road, like by a cop car, and the cops sitting there like, I don't know what to do.
Smoking a cigarette.
Dude, Candy is not dead. I'm pretty sure that she's a landlord these days.
She might be your landlord for all we know. We don't know.
Maybe
she could be. This is like America's Most Wanted, but about Candy the chimp.
like she comes up to my door asking concern, like if I fixed my own lighting problem, like, you get that fixed?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did actually. Good.
I'm gonna have to raise your rent because I painted in here. Oh, you just slapped white paint all over everything, and now you're gonna. Okay, thanks. I didn't even ask you to do that, nor that I need you to do that. But
God bless.
Did you guys ever see that? I don't know. I guess it was a meme or whatever, but the landlord like painted over a roach.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
I've-
the roach looked like he was doing the razzle dazzle.
And now he's doing it forever. He's just encased in white paint.
Bless. Gosh.
Well, so the reason why I wanted to ask about all the lore, right?
Yeah.
And the mystery of the Hard Rock Cafe
Yeah,
of
that was
Philadelphia, Mississippi. I wonder why the Hard Rock Cafe didn't work in Philadelphia. Anyway,
So I don't know if I emphasized this enough.
Okay.
This was the world's first Hard Rock Beach Cafe.
right.
Hard Rock over Philadelphia. You know, we don't even have a beach. You know, it's like
no.
we have a water park called Geyser Falls,
Yeah.
and it's a fabulous water park. But yeah, inside the water parks where they had the beach, now it's just the beach club, and you can rent it out for your wedding reception. But it is no longer a Hard Rock Cafe.
Now, see, that is the place that I would most expect Fred Durst to be.
Yeah.
Well,
The
They used to do karaoke there, and they had a huge crowd
Oh, wow.
on Saturdays. Yeah, for karaoke. So I mean, sure there were plenty of Limp Bizkit songs on the.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Plenty
yeah.
of Limp Bizkit and Godsmack and everything else.
Oh yeah, shoot.
Plenty of boys and girls got taken to the Matthews Bridge.
Yeah. Oh, the Matthews Bridge. I mean, you know, I used to live in Jacksonville, and
As did Fred Durst.
you know, and his mother is like the secretary of a large church there, and I worked at a sign shop, and she would call to get the signs for her church, and I saw their last name was Durst one time, and that conversation ensued. I was like, "Really? He's your son?" She was.
No
Yeah,
way.
so, oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, she's the nicest lady in the world. What was her name? Anita, something like that. Anyway,
Anita Durst, everybody. Look,
Okay.
I mean,
Now,
you can
Anita
Google it
Durst.
right
you
now.
may
and
want to
verify.
Google that before you leave that in there. But
I'm
yeah,
not
she
gonna do
was
it.
she was precious. Anyway, but yes, Fred Durst is a great actor. I have no beef, and you know, Brandon. As much as Brandon says, Brandon loves Fred Durst. Brandon seeks out YouTube, Fred Durst YouTube, like little pieces of gold.
I love Fred Durst like I love the Challenger explosion.
Oh my God.
I don't know if you can leave that in there, but
It's staying in there now.
hey,
Time has passed. It's fine.
Hey,
well, it's
listen.
not fine, but
Listen,
you know,
real
yeah.
quick, as far as lore goes,
Yeah.
I do have a lore. I do have a lore.
Hear me out.
I want to hear it.
This is where Brandon talks about his love for Fred.
Absolutely
dirt.
not. That boy is an absolute goofball, and he treated Britney Spears so wrong.
All right.
Look, here's the thing. As far as some lore in Neshoba County, how much time do we have?
We got time.
Okay, I'll be really quick.
Yeah.
So I commissioned my cousin to do some paintings. He's like a sure enough artist. Like he's a real oil painter. And I called him one day and I was like, you know what? Everybody in the whole family's got paintings of yours except for me. And I'm the only other artist in the whole family. And he was like, well, I'm just drowning in artwork over here. What do you want? And I was like, I don't know, something weird. He was like, okay, well, how about I just paint you something? So we decided to go with we live in an area called Calico. And he said, how about some calico haints? Now, a haint is do you know what a haint is?
A spirit, an apparition of some type. But
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, how about let's just do a couple of haints? And I was like, that sounds good, you know. We're into that. So there's one haint called Sack Annie. And Sack Annie is an old gal that walks up and down the street and she puts bad children in her sack. Okay. She's real scary. So he painted a Sack Annie painting, and I have it hanging in my office, and it's terrifying. Have you seen it, Brandon?
Yeah. You've shown it to me.
Yeah, it's scary. So the second one is Rawhead Bloody Bones, and Rawhead Bloody Bones is just an old booger. And if you act onions, Rawhead Bloody Bones will will get your ass.
He's the one that puts you in the skillet.
Yeah, he will
Oh,
put you. He'll put you right in the skillet. And then the third haint is what we call the Black Panther, and she's a panther mama, and not the superhero. But if you're a little kid and you're crying, you tell them, "Hey, look, if you don't quit all that crying, Black Panther's going to think you're one of her cubs and come get you and take you away." So yeah,
okay.
so those are the three calico haints that I've had commissioned.
I like that.
What was the first Haint's name?
Sack Annie.
I feel like Sack Annie does Philadelphia a great deal. Like I feel like she does a service in this town, because whereas she takes all the bad kids and puts
throws them in her sack,
throws them in their sack, there's a lot of folks in this town who they take their sack and they make a lot of bad kids.
Oh yeah, well yeah, no doubt. Well yeah, she puts them in the sack. An old Rawhead Bloody Bones comes and puts them in the skillet.
So is Rawhead Bloody Bones, is that the basis for like Rawhead Rex?
No, I
movie?
doubt the two
No,
are connected.
probably not.
Was that
No.
was that a Dick Tracy character?
No, that was
That's its own movie.
That was the Hellraiser guy. For some reason my mind's gone blank. What's his name, Greg? The Hellraiser guy. Oh my God, am I losing my mind?
Come on, Satchmo Jones?
No. I mean, you're not talking about Pinhead.
Clive Barker. I don't know why I
Clive
couldn't think
Barker.
of it.
Yeah.
Rawhead Rex is Clive Barker.
Yeah, you're right. It was Clive Barker. Yes. I thought you were talking about the character.
Greg said there's a song by Susie and the Banshees called Rawhead and Bloody Bones. And I'm sitting here looking at a book on my table here called Rawhead Bloody Bones.
You got all the media. You've collected it all.
Yeah.
We're talking about the movie.
Hey,
the
look,
book,
here's the thing.
and the song.
Here's the thing. If there's a Rawhead Bloody Bones or a Sack Annie or a Black Panther book that I can buy, I'm all over it. Look, I've got another one right here by Jack Wolf, The Tale of Rawhead and Bloody Bones.
So,
Yeah.
y'all check this out.
It's just been around for 100 years.
Yeah, it sounds like one of those old ones. So I wanted to ask about this because we're doing our next show, Destin, Fort Walton Beach, My Hero Con, Florida. Get those tickets at myheroconvention.com. And there's a little bit of local lore in the Destin area. Are y'all aware of what they talk about out there?
No.
All right, I'm going to read you a little bit of this here. This coming from backpackerverse.com. In 1935, the bridge connecting Route 98 to Okaloosa Island had begun to malfunction and needed a quick replacement. But little did the engineers know what this new bridge, due west from the old one, would stir up from the wilderness. Little did they know the structure would cross over something paranormal. Wait, did I do that right? Hold on. Cross over something paranormal. Local report.
That's that Patreon money.
Yeah, it is.
Patreon.com/Humbl Show. Locals report a strange event that occurs at midnight on the third Wednesday of every month, when, standing on Brooks Bridge, a pack of wolves can be seen walking on the water below. They follow the same route, rushing in twos and threes over the surface of the sound. A few locals have managed to snap pictures of the wolves. However, every photo developed is blurry and unreliable, because of course it is. So I guess we're going to miss the wolves by a week. It's only on the third. They're very punctual. They've got a schedule, the third Wednesday of the month. Midnight.
Dude, I was about to say that's like an occurrence in an RPG. Like you can only get this item if it's on a third Tuesday, and your dad has left the family, and
the drop rate's still pretty low.
Yeah.
Look, so is this like, do people say they see the wolves?
Yeah. Look, I was reading up on it, and there's like one guy they were interviewed, and he said he said he got choked up, talking about the wolves, and that he can't has trouble sleeping because he saw the wolves running across the water out there over the Brooks, underneath the Brooks Bridge.
I want to see the wolves.
Well, you're gonna have to go a week early if you want to see the wolves.
Look, somebody was talking the other day. They were like, I thought and I've heard this before. I've heard this for a few years. Somebody said, I thought that quicksand and something else, the Bermuda Triangle was going to be a bigger problem for them. And but for me, it was, I thought wolves were really going to be a problem. Growing up, you hear about, wolves just, going zoomy all over the place.
One time, so we talk about Matt from time to time, our main MC. One time I was over at his house and we went outside and there's like woods back there, and there was definitely a pack of coyotes in the woods behind his house acting onions.
Oh, man. Coyotes do be acting onions.
Yeah, it was all of a sudden, it was pretty wild. We were like, are you hearing this? Because I feel like I'm hearing this right now, and I feel like this is not a thing that I hear all the time. But yeah, coyotes, man, they'd be going crazy, and that was real. As far as I know, those were not ghosts. I think they were real coyotes.
Well, chances are.
I feel bad for anybody in like Destin who's really wanting like a spooky time come Halloween, because if like someone was like, hey man, I got this condo on the beach in Destin on October the 31st, you better believe like Halloween being thrown out the window. I'm putting on like my my Leonard Skinner tank top and my cut off jorts, and like I'm gonna headbutt somebody's stepdad with a Bud Light in hand. Like there's like Nightmare Before Christmas is not gonna like touch my skull at all. Like it's like nothing. Like Halloween is just not gonna touch my brain in Destin, Florida. Like that's just, there's nothing against the local lore, but there's just nothing spooky about Destin. It's just pure, just unadulterated letting loose and having a rowdy time. It's not spooky.
Yeah, well, that's why they had to dress it up a little bit, souvenir shops and ghost wolves. That's what they came up with.
Yeah.
Because,
Plus,
otherwise it's just beach, which is great,
Exactly.
But you don't want to be known for just beach, I guess. I don't know.
You cannot make a jet ski death spooky.
Yeah.
There's no haunted jet skis.
Yeah, usually it's just someone who's really drunk and they fell off the jet ski, and then,
Yeah, and it's just that happened.
Yeah.
They didn't,
Hey, look.
Hey.
I got a jet ski story.
Of course you do.
Is it haunted? Do you have a haunted
jet ski? If you got a jet ski story, I want to hear it.
Look, it could have been a haunted jet ski story. When I was 13 years old, my parents knew that they were about to get a divorce.
Yeah.
They took me to the Bahamas with them, So, I didn't know they were getting a divorce. I just thought we were going on a family vacay without my brother. So
he can't take it.
We get there, and my uncle goes to. It's like I don't know. It kind of feels like a work trip. My family do.
They wrote it off at the end of the year.
Yeah, that's it. So my uncle comes up. He's like, "Hey, you want to go parasailing?" So we go parasailing, have the time of our life. And then the next day, my dad's like, "Hey, you want to go rent jet skis?" And I'm like, "Yes, this is going to be another day that's the time of my life." So I go and we rent one jet ski because you have to have your driver's license. I was only 13. We get on there. We get about a mile out, and my dad really guns it and throws me right off. And I'm like out there in the middle of freaking shark, stingray, sea snake infested waters, treading water. And he's like, "Come on, baby, get back on the jet ski." And I don't have any upper body strength because I'm a little fat girl with no upper body strength. So I'm like trying to pull myself up and I can't, and he's trying to pull me, and he just pulls himself off and he flips it back over and he climbs on. He's like, "I tell you what, we only got this for 45 minutes. Let me see what this thing will do, and I'll come back and get you." And I'm just literally, I swear to God, and I'm out there treading water in the middle of the freaking Caribbean, and my dad's out there just
having the time of his life,
cutting donuts in the middle of the Caribbean while I'm just treading water, about to die, about to get attacked by, freaking a megalodon out there in the middle of BFE. And finally he comes back and he's like, "All right, try to pull yourself up. And I'm trying to pull myself up and I can't. Like I said, fat girl, no upper body strength. Just me, chubby arms, soaked down because I'm, swimming in my clothes. Anyway, and I couldn't get back on. So what he does, he's like, all right, just hold on. And just drags me on the side of the all the way down. So I hate the water. I hate the jet ski, and I hated my daddy for several years.
And then he pulls you back up and he says, well, look, kid, here's the good news. You're getting 2 Christmases from here on out.
That was it.
I thought somewhere in that story, your dad would be like, and also, your daddy's back on the market.
Oh, yeah. We get home. By the way, we're getting a divorce. Hope you enjoyed your last trip. Last family trip.
Sure,
I hope meeting the Baja man really softened that blow.
He's like, here, we'll go get you a couple of braids in your hair. little jewels on the bottom. You can
how
remember
about an airbrush T-shirt, and then that inspired a whole career later for Moonbeam.
Yeah.
I know, right? Yeah, so there's my jet ski story. Shoot, man.
Oh man, I think we're with that. I don't know how we top it, so I think it's game time.
Game time.
All right, so last time we played the TV ladder, we played a TV game. This time, let's go ahead and we'll play another movie game.
Yeah.
And this game is called The Future Yesterday. I've got a few movies here, and each of these movies, when they were released, took place in the future. However, the year in which each of these movies takes place has since passed here in the real world where we're stuck.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to give you the name of the movie, and then the two of you will bid on what year in which you think that movie takes place. And then whoever's the closest without going over will get a point.
Oh, is one of these going to be Escape from New York?
It might be.
Oh.
It might be. All right. Moonbeam, I'm going to start with you on this first one here. The movie is Blade Runner, released in 1982. In what year do you think Blade Runner takes place?
2049.
2049. All right, so 2049 hasn't actually happened yet. So, like in the real world, it has to be a year that's already happened.
Oh.
Like for us. It's like the year has come and gone, and Blade Runner has not actually come to fruition is the problem.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Greg doing answers again?
No,
he's just trying to clarify the rules.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So, I should know this because I've seen Blade Runner like 900 times.
I love it.
But I honestly don't know. How about 2012?
She says 2012. Brandon, in what year do you think Blade Runner happens?
2009.
2009. Moonbeam says 2012. Brandon says 29. Blade Runner takes place in 2019. Point for Moonbeam there. All right, yeah, Brandon, I'm going to let you bid first on this one here. The movie is Escape from New York, released in 1981.
Oh, I'm not prepared. 2004.
He says 2004. Moonbeam, when do you think Escape from New York takes place?
I don't know, 2001.
2001?
I've seen Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Well, but I have no idea.
I'm going to tell you this. You both went bust because Escape from New York takes place in 1997.
Wow, wow.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
They did not have a lot of faith in
We overshot it by a lot here. I got one more. This would have been the tiebreaker. I think Moonbeam takes the game, but we're going to try this one anyway to see what happens. See if Brandon can get a redemption shot here at least.
Yeah.
Moonbeam, we'll start with you again on this one. It is The Running Man, released in 1987.
Yeah, with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's the one.
Yeah, I don't know. 2009.
2009, she says. Brandon, when do you think The Running Man takes place?
2001.
2001. All right. Well, Moonbeam takes the point again because it takes place in 2017.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
2017, The Running Man.
Yeah, man. I it's just one of those things that just happened to get closer than you, Brandon, because I had no idea. Now, if you would have said Back to the Future 2, I did know that was going to be 2015.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That one I think is a little too, like, everyone knows, like, it was 2015.
Yeah.
So I almost put it in there, but I just decided against it.
Yeah.
What's
Because of
funny is
that
that I have
darn
a question.
hoverboard.
Easy.
What's that, Brandon?
It's because of that darn hoverboard. Like, I feel
Yeah.
like every year until 2015, everyone's
You're
like,
waiting.
"Oh, yeah, we're about to get that hoverboard," and
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you don't really want a hoverboard. You don't really want a
No.
hoverboard.
And then we got the thing that they were calling a hoverboard, and then I was like, nah, I don't want it anymore.
Yeah, everybody
No, I
gets
mean-
caught on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
There's
like
a
once
video of
again,
Mike Tyson falling, I think, like flat on his face on a hoverboard.
Oh yeah.
guy hitting the snot box.
Right in the snot box, as Brandon likes to say.
I want people to wear like hats that say what they're saying, like caption it, like
Oh yeah, there we go.
"Have a good night, day, Mrs. McFly," or whatever it was, and it just goes right across in her hat.
I do
want
need
something like that.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's doable.
I think so.
I need captions because I know as far as Siri is unconcerned, she doesn't understand my banjo mouth at all. Like every
Banjo
time she
mouth.
sends a message, it might as well be in Greek.
Oh, you're saying
Oh,
like
you
you
know,
need them for you. I was going to say, are you one of those people that has to watch TV with the captions on?
Oh yeah, or otherwise
Okay.
I can't hear it. Yeah.
Right. Of course. You know,
Yeah.
I never got it, but I get why people. I mean, I suppose I get why people do it, but I'm not quite there just yet.
No,
I
need
went through a phase of that, and then I realized I don't really care what I'm hearing. I'll just say it.
I'm just going to make it up as I go. Yeah. There you
Yeah,
go.
I'll
Figure it
fill
out.
in the blanks, and it'll be a better story because I'm amazing.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
are.
You know, Brandon can tell a yarn. I like it.
Show
Well,
can't
I think
sew
we've
it.
said everything there was to say on this episode here. I had a lot of fun. I hope y'all out there had a lot of fun. Anything else we're missing, everybody?
I just want to say, rest in peace, Hard Rock Cafe.
We're still
Over-
working
over-
on
Hard Rock
over
Beach
Philadelphia.
Cafe.
Hard Rock Beach over Philadelphia.
I like how
I've
y'all are
got-
calling it over Philadelphia as if it were a Six Flags or something like that. I love Six Flags. Let's not get it twisted, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, wherever you are, if you're on your favorite podcast app or YouTube, make sure you hit subscribe. Check out the Patreon if you haven't already. Patreon.com/Humbl Show. That's humble with a 3 instead of an E. You know how it is, Humbl3 Fam. And make sure you follow us out there on our social media platforms as well. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Threads. We out here. You know what I'm saying? We'll be back here next week for another visit. But until then, stay humble.